Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. I'm told mini reading. So, hashtag 1, 2, or 3. Those who chose hashtag 1, card number 50, Saturn return, age. They always say time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Ooh, soul is calling you out. Soul is calling you out. Saturn, as the Lord of Karma, shatters all illusions. Whatever illusion you've created for yourself about who you are, how you are, what you are capable of, what your destiny entails, it's about to be shattered. It's about to be shattered so more of your light can shine through and thus giving you the opportunity to see with clarity. All right, let's see. This marks a period where childish things must be put away. There is no more, air quotes, getting ready to live your life. It is a time to live it and be responsible for your own dreams, goals, and affairs. So, for those of you who are using other people as an excuse to hold off your goals, like, oh, I'll do that when my kids are grown. Oh, I'll do this after um, I do this, and this at work. Like, no more excuses. You're either going to do it or you're not. If you hold on to things with no basis in reality, your suffering will grow and depression may follow. You cannot escape this truth seeking energy. You must face it. Let's see. You may become keenly aware that you may not have enough time left to achieve your goals. Often there's a paring away of what is not essential. But for those who have not acted wisely, this will be a difficult transition. When this card is drawn, it will feel as if nothing goes right for you, and you may feel very discouraged. Just as it seems things are progressing, there are obstacles. What this truly is Saturn showing you a part of your life that may not have been based upon anything real. It may have outlived its purpose, or perhaps you've misjudged a situation, thinking it better than it was. In truth, and Saturn is a planet of truth, Saturn returns are all about correction. Boom. There you go. Everything's being corrected. Saturn corrects any area which isn't based on reality. It might be romance, business deals, educational paths, partnerships, or marriage. This card is pointing something out to you that may not have been genuine in the first place, and that should probably be let go. Whatever is shaking your life won't last and probably isn't meant to. If this card is drawn, you will not be given a pass, and the matter in question will not progress as easily as you might want it to. But more positively, this marks a time when things are solidified. Whatever you accomplish currently will have permanence to it. You will have worked hard, and your hard work will pay off, gradually growing more successful over time. This is an important thing. This is a very important thing because what ends up happening is in the struggles that you face as you're trying to accomplish what you've set out to accomplish, you are learning at a much deeper depth than simply rushing through it and, trying to be viral, right? For a lot of people who want to be content creators, your goal is to be viral. Why? Have you not noticed? There is a very high tendency for people who go viral to be a flash in the pan. You leave and are forgotten about as quickly as you arrived and were spoken about. You don't want that. Build something real, build something authentically. And when you do that, it has the likelihood of standing the test of time. If you're just going to be following trends, "Oh, my friend is getting divorced, so I'm gonna get divorced too because I need to have, my freedom and this and that." You sure about that? I mean, I don't know what's going on with the relationship, but I don't know that that's the reason to get a divorce. We have to exit out of this like monkey see, monkey do mentality. We have to. It's very, very important for you to begin considering the unique factors that you're dealing with, details of your life and your circumstance that are very unique to you. That's important. Do I need to have already a business to take the soul business mentorship? No, not at all. Not at all. I've had some people do the soul-based business mentorship with no idea of what they're gonna do, and I'm like, "Okay, what did you have in mind?" They're like, "I don't know." And I'm like, "Okay, let's let soul talk." And then what ends up coming up, and this is, like, kind of cool. What ends up coming up, it's out of nowhere, and I'm like, "Okay, I don't know if this makes sense to you, but I'm being shown this, this, and this." And then the person will be like, "Oh my gosh, that's like my hobby." Well, monetize your hobby. That's how your soul is gonna take care of you financially. Monetize your hobby. You don't have to have anything solidified. The most powerful thing that I've experienced in a soul-based business mentorship is the fact that most people are already aware of what soul is instructing them to do, but because they don't trust themselves, they're like, "Oh, that's just a hobby. Oh, that's not really something that will make money. Oh, I don't have a degree. I don't have this. I don't have that." Yo, my businesses are soul-based businesses. I don't have a degree in anything. I've never taken a single business course, yet I'm at the head of multiple corporations. I know. You'd never think that, yet I am. And I'll tell you another thing. Um, so I'm actually a neo-Luddite. I don't like technology. And then I'm working on technology. That's just it's mind-boggling. But that's what soul says to do. So I do it. And the thing is, as a neo-Luddite, I don't pay attention to algorithms. I don't pay attention to analytics. None of that makes any kind of sense to me. But numbers speak to me. Numbers absolutely speak to me. Speak so loudly to me. And so soul is like, you got to do this, this, and this. You do these three things, the numbers will sing. Oh boy, did the numbers sing with those three suggestions. And again, I didn't watch any videos. I didn't take any courses. I simply did what soul told me to do. Within a 48-hour period, my reach, organic reach, no ads, no nothing, went from like 150 profiles on Facebook to 500,000. I don't know why. I just know soul told me to do that. And then that's what it did. And I was like, "Oh, that's lovely. I like that number." It was something like 535 or 538,000. And I was like, "Ooh, change, solid foundation, convergence." I like that. Because numbers sing to me. I'll give you an example. I wanted to quit. I'm going to show you guys something because it's important for you to see exactly how soul speaks to me. This was during a time where I kind of wanted to quit because I go through these periods where it's like, I really don't want to be heard. I don't want to be seen. I want to live an obscure life. I don't want any of this. I'm not interested in being famous or a celebrity or recognized. I just I want to do what soul tells me to do and then leave it at that. Here, this is a glitch, and this is a YouTube glitch. At the time, my sub count was hidden, and my sub count was much higher than it is. YouTube's been punishing me for years. I like it. Do it some more. I'm joking. I'm joking. My God. You've already had me shadow banned for several years. Just relax, YouTube. Relax. Relax. Okay. Look. Look at that. Look at that. And my littlest, he was watching my channel on his iPad for some reason. This was a few years ago. And he's like, he keeps talking about how I'm a big deal. And I was like, okay. Thank you. I didn't know that on his iPad, when he goes to my videos, he sees my sub count is 9.39 million. I was like, what? I don't have that, baby. And he goes, yes, you do. And I don't. I promise you, mommy's not a celebrity. Mommy's not a big deal. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The gravity of this right here, the gravity of this. You see, the average person would see this as 9.39 million subscribers, which is a scary thing for me because I'm introverted. I don't see it as that. I see myself being given a solid foundation flanked by God, guarded by Michael, and that any of the subscribers who wish me harm must first go through him and God itself before it affects the foundation that God is asking me to build. This is my soul telling me stop being afraid of the very purpose you were born to fulfill. We'll give you some time because you're moody and you're a little bit confrontational. So we will give you time, little lady. We will give you time. But this is just a reminder. The foundation you are building right now is flanked by divinity itself and guarded over by Michael. And whatever fears you might have about subscribers being malignant towards you, they must first go through him and God itself before it could ever touch what you are being asked to build. So, really, all the hardships that I go through, all the hiccups, they are rooted in the illusions I create within myself, the ways in which I refuse to believe that I was custom designed by creation itself to fulfill the very purpose that I am simply living right now. It's not requiring me to be anything but myself in all of the different faces that I have. And you're probably like, oh, you have different faces. That means you're fake. No, motherfucker. It means I am a crystal. I am no longer a diamond in the rough. I have been cut repeatedly by life and then polished by the abrasive nature of people in order to bring out the gravity of my brilliance. And all I need is the light of my truth to shine above me and all the ways in which I have been cut over and over and over again, losing parts of myself that dulled my shine. Those faces will lead to others being able to see with clarity the brilliance that has always lived inside of me. I find this is true and accurate for all people. But the degree of your capacity to accept this as part of your truth is what will lead to you either flowing with your journey or fighting it and trying to reject it. You're free to do either one. But just know, if I may share my personal experiences, if you choose to fight it and reject it, it's still gonna fuck your ass up anyways. It's just gonna drag your ass. I mean, that's what it's done to me repeatedly. And I'm just like, I'm at a point where, soul tells me to do something. I'm like, no. And then soul's like, are you sure? No, I'm just kidding. What did you want me to do? I don't have much hair left. Um, please don't drag me. I will do what you say. Stop yanking me by my hair. It's not funny anymore. It wasn't funny to begin with, but I was joking around and said it was funny. It's not anymore. I will do whatever you say. You're in control of how you experience things. You're in control. Those who chose #1, you're not going to be given a pass this time. This marks a time when things are solidified. Whatever you accomplish currently will have permanence to it. You will have worked hard and your hard work will pay off, gradually growing more successful over time. That passage right there reminds me of a conversation that I was overhearing, where my coach was speaking to someone else and they were talking about supplementation with performance enhancing um, things, PEDs. Okay. And he, as someone who has firsthand experience in how that can help you through your process of trying to prepare for competition, even he is saying, like, if you could do it naturally, just do it naturally, because whatever you build naturally, you keep. Whatever you build unnaturally through supplementation, the moment you stop supplementing, you will lose all of that. Your hard work will not matter. So build yourself naturally. Stop being in such a rush. Allow it to solidify because of the effort you put into whatever you're trying to accomplish. Do it naturally. Do it with love and care for yourself. You may feel a sense of time running out. If any partnership is now being formed, that lover or partner may be older or in a better standing than you. Pessimism may figure in, and you may be compelled to give up on something you believe in dearly. Being pessimistic and wanting to give up on something doesn't mean you should. It doesn't mean your pessimism is being validated and you should give up. It's simply calling you out on the part of your process that you're in. That needs to be corrected, not because you're broken or it's wrong, but because it's creating a distortion. Before you solidify any of your decisions and really commit to what you decide, you have to make sure you've seen the situation from multiple vantage points with absolute clarity in what you're witnessing and clarity in what you have set as your mission objective. Saturn is a planet of time and measure and signifies hair turning gray, or skeletal problems. Saturn returns tend to bring on rough passages, but also a harvest. You are now at a time when you understand things better than you did even a year ago. It's time to be brave and face this important passage. There are no quick fixes when this card turns up. Know that you know what you can and cannot do. Take life in a measured way, much like this planet of time already does. Let go of your illusions, for they do not serve you. You're down to the brass tacks now. Time to see what you are made of. It's very important for you to be able to see what you're capable of achieving. Very, very important. For many of us, we have a tendency to efface, and that's not going to help you. Talking down about your capacity just to make, this is going to sound abrasive because it is. It's meant to. It's meant to sand down the calluses that have formed, the thickening of your membranes that prevents you from receiving the messages because you think it doesn't apply to you. Playing small to accommodate mediocre people, it doesn't serve you anymore. You were not born for mediocrity. And it's okay for you to finally recognize that. You see, when you're not seeing that and coming to that conclusion because you are comparing yourself to other people, that's okay. That's okay. When you come to that conclusion because you're looking at other people and you're measuring yourself based on them and you're being hypercritical of them, I mean, that's kind of dickish. It's kind of immature and it reeks of insecurity and ego issues. What I'm talking about is you recognizing, independent from comparisons to other people, you need to stop playing small to appease mediocre individuals. There are people in your life who don't have the capacity you have, and you are limiting yourself because you know achieving something that person cannot achieve will offend them. Why is that person even in your life? Why are you giving them that much power over you? Some of you are going to be like, "Oh, but they're my friend. But they're my parent, they're my sibling, they're my spouse." Uh-uh. They are the cowards who have considered themselves your competition while hiding the fact that they are competing with you. Let that sink in. You're over here being supportive and accommodating their needs, their preferences, yet they're over there competing with you, quietly, secretly hoping for you to fail just because they don't want you to do better than they do. Yeah. I used to have the time and the energy to accommodate those kind of people. Now I'm kind of just like, gather all your little crystals. You go down the block. You make a left on that street with a big tree, and then you go down 2 blocks and make a right, and at the end of that cul-de-sac is where you'll find you have me fucked up. I don't give a shit what you want. I don't give a shit what you need. Don't be a part of my life if you can't celebrate my successes and support me when I feel as though I'm failing, because that is what I offer people I love. And if you can't reciprocate that, no, you don't have to, but also no, you don't have to be a part of my life either. I don't need to reserve a spot for you at my table, because when I'm going to have a meal to celebrate, I want to enjoy that meal. I want to savor it. I want to savor it in the presence of good company. I don't want someone at my table who's going to complain about every little thing. Because it's not good? No, because you're a complainer and you don't like other people being happy until you give them permission to. I'm good off that. I'm good off that. Hell no. I've had too many people in my life like that. I'm good. Your insecurity is for you to solve. But Emmy, what if you make them insecure by being me? Did did you not see the picture I showed earlier where I was fucked up in my face? No makeup. Squatted over trying to give myself a pep talk. Do you, how am I creating someone else's insecurity? Oh, that's right. Because they are covert competitors. I was unaware they were trying to compete with me. That's how they created their own insecurity. I fully believe we all have space to succeed. I don't see people as my competition. You know, my kid was brushing his teeth last night, and I was over there moisturizing the shit out of my face. I was. I was like moisturizing so hardcore. And then I don't know how we came up with it, but he began talking about competition. And then he goes, "You're very competitive, mommy." And I was like, "Yes and no. Like, I'm not competitive with other people." Oh, he was asking about why am I trying to build so much muscle? And then he was like, um, because you're competitive. And I was like, yes, yes, I'm competitive. And then I had to make sure I clarified, I don't just compete with people, I'm competitive for a competition. And he goes, "Oh, so you're trying to build bigger muscle and be against other people with no muscle." And I said, "No, that's not competition. That's just me being insecure. I'm trying to compete against other women who are just as competitive as I am, who do the same things that I'm doing and are building their muscles with the same commitment that I have. Those are the people I'm competing with. And that is healthy. That is healthy. Not finding people who are less than and seeing them as my competition, because that's not a competition anymore. That's me just basically bullying other people. There's a difference. There's a huge difference. One is a life lived with Bushido. The other, that's a life with no honor. You come across people with no honor. People who think a ninja type lifestyle is badass. It's not. You know what ninjas are? Fallen samurai. They hide in the shadows. They hide their face. Why? Because they have no honor. That is not a life lived with Bushido. Live your life with honor, with integrity. Don't allow other people to slow you down. And the people who do, they need to be excused from your table because there's no space for that kind of behavior there. None whatsoever. And don't be apologetic about it either. You cannot apologize for having standards. I am finding that alone, the lack of apology for you having standards now, that alone can completely change your life and the way you function in your life. Just that one little shift alone. So let it shift. Those who chose #2, card number 49, Jupiter return benefits. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You need to begin preparing. You need to work through whatever hangups you have in your head and really begin preparing. Sometimes your dreams will speak to you. Sometimes it will be thoughts that just come through as you're doing something completely unrelated. Allow your soul to speak to you in whatever way, whatever medium is used, because really, um, what your soul will use to communicate to you, it's often determined by what would create the least opportunity to resist the message, right? Ah, mm. I had a crazy dream last night. I promise it ties into this. I had a crazy dream last night. I woke up frowning and really upset. Yeah. Um, I woke up before my alarm went off. And the dream was that I randomly decided to do a competition that I was not ready to do. I didn't have the proper time and preparation. And the Airbnb was weird because it was kind of like a weird ass 1980s cabin, just a weird feel to it. And a person from my past who I have some really just I have some hangups about. Um, they knocked on the door. They've done a competition before, I think. They knocked on the door and they're like, "Oh my god, we saw you in the parking lot. I just wanted to say hi and see how you're doing." And I'm like, "What are you doing here?" And then of course they go inside. They go inside my Airbnb and they're like, "Oh, I want to help you prepare." And I'm like, "Ew, I don't need your help." And then it was this thing of like realizing, okay, I didn't even shave because you need to shave if you're going to do the competition so that your muscles can be showcased more better. And then I realized I hadn't tanned, which you need to tan in order to properly showcase your muscle development. And then I realized that I had forgotten my stage bikini. I didn't buy one. And so I realized what I had was a random ass bikini from Walmart. Totally me. And then she asks me about my posing routine, and I realized I didn't even create a posing routine. Holy crap. And then I realized I only had like 30 minutes. And when I went to change into my bikini, I was like, what in the fluff lord is happening here? I was so fluffy. I was like, oh my God. But look at my abs showing through my fluff. I was not lean at all. You need to be lean to showcase your muscle. And I was just like, why am I even competing? This is obnoxious. Like, I don't want to just get on a stage just to get on a stage. Like, I want to be in competition form. And then I was going to be late too. I was like, oh, this is just bullshit. And so, what is that? All the things that I am subconsciously worried about, not being properly prepared, and thus negatively impacting my chances of success. That's my soul finding the time to let me know those are things I'm already considering. They are. Those are things I'm already considering. I'm already preparing for it. I cannot rush this process. But also, there is that secondary layer to it where that's a straight up demon Horita dream where, parasitic things are trying to cast a shadow on what I'm needing to process and messages I'm needing to receive in dream state so that I'm upset, so that I'm distorted in my views, to make me feel some type of way when I wake up. And I woke up frowning, feeling upset. And after a few seconds, I was like, well, that's never going to fucking happen because, hello, control freak OCD. Like, I would ever leave any of that to chance. Please. None of that's going to happen. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact. And I had to be very clear with myself. How do I know this for a fact? Bitch, it's like a 6 to 8 week prep time before the competition. All of that shit will be hammered out weeks before you even fly out. Quit playing. Quit playing. None of that is going to happen. None of that is going to happen. Why? Because I'm not incompetent. Whatever I don't know, I will find out well in advance. Because why? Because that's how I am. That is how I am. I'm extremely tactical in everything I do. Everything I do, I view from a tactical lens. So that's basically my soul letting me know I'm wasting time, energy, and effort worrying about things that I need not worry about because of my character. Those will not be a concern. Your soul will communicate to you in whatever medium it can communicate to you without you creating distortions. But you have to be willing to pay attention. You have to be willing to see it a little bit further back. If you're totally zoomed in to specific details, I mean, you're not going to see the big picture. You're not going to see what your soul is trying to communicate to you. And I think for some of us, that's the actual message, that you're not seeing what soul is communicating to you because you've become so afraid. And that fear is rooted in this erroneous belief that you are incapable of something. Whatever the task has been set for you, to whatever degree, for whatever reason, you've begun to believe that you're incapable of doing that. That's not true. That's not true. Sometimes we don't get it right the first time because we're working out the best, most efficient way to approach this. Maybe it's time to stop seeing preliminary attempts as failures. They are merely preliminary attempts. Okay. Jupiter return occurs every 12 years. This marks the time the largest and most expansive of planets returns to the original place of when you were born. Turning up this card indicates a period when doors are open to you and obstacles are lifted. You are given the freedom to advance your goals with absolute abandon. And I think before you can do that, you need to recognize the insecurities that have been used as blockades. these blockages that you are so afraid of just moving to the side. Like, just move it to the side. You don't have to blow it up or anything like that. Just scooch over it. Just scooch past. Okay. It suggests you will soon be entering a time where you encounter less resistance and life should flow much easier. This card is the green light that gives the go ahead. All paths are now clearing, and you are to take the utmost advantage of this. So, this is telling me for many of you, most of you, you've done all the work that needs to be done. And now you need to take the steps to progress forward. You already laid the groundwork, you took care of the little details, right? So if we're relating this to the dream that I shared, um, okay, I already did all the prep work, meaning I did all the workouts. I already shaved. I already tanned. I already selected um, a swimsuit and a second swimsuit for just in case, because that's how you guys, I have OCD. I have OCD, tactical OCD. I will have an extra just in case. And now it's a green light. All I need to do is put everything on and then go to the actual competition and apply what I planned. That's it. That's all you have to do. You're already working through everything. Goals or plans you started more than a decade ago will begin to bear fruit, either right now or at least very soon. Something very good is about to emerge from the debris of the past. It could be a thing you felt you lost or something that did not work out exactly as you hoped. It may even be a plan you have forgotten about that once again comes into your life to make some remarkable changes and advances. In short, the Jupiter return card implies good fortune and prosperity in many areas, not just financial or material. Dreams manifest into reality at this time. Gifts flow in easily. It's also a time to be aware of how you approach matters of your own spirituality, faith, and destiny. There is a rapidness to Jupiter, so it's important to grab a hold of anything that surfaces. You're being given, you are being given all sorts of different opportunities. And I don't even know if you realize these are opportunities. The moment you sense that this is an opportunity, just grab onto it and hold on to it for a short bit. Okay. Allow yourself time to kind of process, like, okay, what could this mean? Is this really an opportunity? What should I do about this? Does this feel fully aligned? Um, what's the best course of action? Like, really allowing yourself time to process. This is not a good time to get carried away, though. See what I'm saying? Slow down a little bit. It's a time, it's always important with Jupiter to keep a clear head. Let's see. This card marks a stage when you are to receive opportunities and then rewards. This is a time many areas of your life begin to bear fruit. The only negative to this card is that it's not a good time to indulge or become reckless with anything. Don't think that just because you're hearing good things, you can wild out and do some cycle of sabotage. You're going to mess up your whole process. Okay? It can indicate too much of a good thing or of being overly confident things will work out on their own. No, you always have to have a hand in what you are working on. You have to be involved in all aspects of your life. So your soul is already taking care of the protection. Your soul is already taking care of the correction. Now you can be fully focused in the other things that need you, the human you. The protection and the correction, that's being dealt with by the spirit you, the soul part of you. So no matter what, every aspect of your life is being handled by you. Um, Like Saturn return, only hard work with perseverance will bring the payoffs. It's time to take a broader reach and to show gratitude. See the possibilities. Trust in your fortune and give thanks to the gods. Making light of a situation and realizing it's not as bad as it seems is the best approach. In fact, something will be rescued from the darkness. Mhm. I'm sorry, Michael's having conversation with me. New experiences trigger a desire for travel and inner development. Communications with angels and higher spirits are more possible now. Higher education calls to you. Publishing your ideas or bringing them before the public are a probability. Relax, let go of control, and allow things to unfold. But be present. Be present. Be involved. Be wise and pay attention. Don't take your eyes off the prize. You are in a kingly or queenly place right now. Bigger goals and plans now rule your life. It is time to put laziness aside and buckle down for some dramatic changes, mostly positive. Great fortune is ahead of you, so don't back away from it and proceed from the dream in an outward way. Um So, in short, love others with grace and patience. Know that generosity is its own reward. Keep the expansive energy of Jupiter flowing, but with discernment. And in answer to your question, yes, but only if you are wise in your choices. I like that. So, yes, you can make things happen. Yes, things are being set aside for you already. Yes, this is a good period for you to focus more effort in whatever it is you're being called to focus on by soul. Um, really just allowing your process to unfold. It's important. It's very, very important. A lot of things can be accomplished, but again, you need to put in the work. Things are being cleared away, but it's not just going to be given to you. You have to earn that. You have to earn it. Okay. Hashtag 3. Card number 8, Chiron, healing. The wound is the place where the light enters you. I think for some of you, the wound is the place where your light escapes and is presented to the rest of the world. Healing must take place before you're able to deal with your matter. Chiron is not a planet, but a comet with a unique orbit that travels through the entire zodiac over approximately 51 years. Chiron is the Greek word for man horse. In myth, Chiron the centaur, the wisest of all creatures, was a wounded healer and self enlightened shaman. He was wounded in the flank and was almost crippled, but was rehabilitated from his wounds and sickness to pursue the healing arts through the guidance of Apollo, god of light. For astrologers, Chiron has a special purpose as a bridge between the inner and outer planets, a bridge between the animal and the human, the wisdom that lies in both life forms. In the chart, Chiron's place shows transition, linking the mundane to the extraordinary. This heavenly body takes us on a journey through our darkness, where we pass through to the next side with strengths we did not realize we had until we passed through that black place. So, for those who chose hashtag 3, part of the reason you're going through the things you're going through is quite possibly because that's the only way, the juxtaposition of opposing polarities is the only way for you to gain greater clarity and understanding of the gravity of what you've accomplished and what you are here to actually do. Let's see. Chiron has a relationship to the two astrological signs of Virgo and Sagittarius. Chiron lords over matters of health, illness, and disease, and especially how they relate to our personal journey through life. One must see darkness before there is light. One must experience sickness before there is lasting health. Chiron also represents resurrection, so has some relationship to the Christ figure as the wounded healer. This is a card of great transformation. Therefore, in many ways, you are rising from the swamps. Ooh. So people will hear that and they'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm rising from the nasty space. Swamps are absolutely fertile ground. It is teeming with life. So much life in swamps. You are rising from a space of creation and abundance, a space of fertility. Chiron's energy says that once we are able to heal ourselves, we can also take this gift or wound and learn how to restore others. We can mend our wounds when we embrace process and understand the gift of illness or dysfunction. Chiron is also an expert in alchemy, which gives us the ability to transform the mundane into the marvelous. Chiron is a blending of the energies of Saturn and Uranus, meaning just don't throw out the old. There is wisdom there, but you should also embrace the bold and the new. And keeping with this, Chiron also governs quantum physics, medicine, and astrology. When this card turns up in a reading, it can indicate health matters or that issues of a medical nature may be of concern. This matter may have to do with health concerns, most especially any emotional healing that is needed. At this time, you may find yourself visiting or having interactions with health facilities or any place that has to do with the healing of body, mind, or spirit. So, this statement of meaning just don't throw out the old. I think for many of us, what this means is that we have to be careful about making healing our goal and thinking that what that means is pretending like we don't need the experiences that hurt us. Don't just be grateful for the good times. Be absolutely and deeply grateful for the hardships that you face, because that is when you're actually being gifted elevations in awareness, intelligence, experience, and maturity. Those are profound times of your life. Don't forget what you learned during those periods, because it's during those periods you are being fortified and further empowered. This is also a time of teaching and learning, so schools may figure in this matter. Certain sorrows of the deep past may be surfacing, so be careful of repeating old patterns. And I think part of the reason why we repeat old patterns is because as soon as we get through a difficult situation, we start to act like we don't need to remember that anymore. If you forget either what you've learned or what you've been through to learn that, there's a very high likelihood you will repeat that. There's a very high likelihood you will repeat that cycle. So, no, don't keep living that in your present, but never forget what you've been through. The symbol for Chiron is a key, and this card says you have the key to open the right doors at your asking. To do this, you will have to work with the wounded or the downtrodden in some way. So, if this is true, it's now time to save yourself. It's now time to save yourself and others. You have the key. And I think part of how you're going to save others is by utilizing your key to unlock the pathways that are meant to be traveled by you and leaving that door open for someone else to follow after you if they so choose. You are not responsible for other people's journey, but it's a very powerful and beautiful thing to be willing to share the pathway that you used. It's very powerful and it's very beautiful. But don't confuse it, please. Do not take on unnecessary hardship just because you are tasking yourself to be someone's um, babysitter or savior. Those are derogatory to other people. I don't know if you know that. To babysit someone is to view them in an infantile manner, as though they are some helpless child and don't have the maturity or the capacity, as though um, they've been sheltered and have no idea of how to be. And to task yourself to be someone's savior does the same thing. It deprives them of their sense of accomplishment and autonomy. It's not a good thing to be someone's savior or a babysitter. It's not. It's not. I can, however, celebrate being allowed to facilitate, to assist. That's different. That's different. If you guys have not noticed, when someone tries to credit me with the changes in their life, it's like, no, that the change you changed your life. I simply helped. I provided clarity. I maybe empowered you, or maybe I did energetic work to facilitate. But you took it further. So the credit is yours. You did that. It's important for you to hold the rightful credit for the changes that you've initiated and sustained. That's the only way you'll finally begin to accept how powerful you are. That's the only way you'll finally begin to allow yourself to function with the gravity you already hold inside you. So make it happen. Make it happen. Do the thing. Do the dang thing. I gotta go. I gotta get ready for class. And I do have several events coming up. The Comfort Care live meditation is where I do non-specific induction and I just flood the space with healing, with pain mitigation. It's a very lovely experience. It is. I thoroughly enjoy doing the Comfort Care meditation. If you want to know more about that, click on the QR code or the link in the comments. And then I have the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop. This is where I teach you the fundamentals of the energetic system that I came into this life just knowing. I hate saying I created it because I know in my heart I didn't create it. On a human level, yes, I created it. Truthful, soul based level, no, I did not. I remember this. And I am prepared now to share it with the world, to share it with those who are ready to learn. So, the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop helps you learn how to maintain your auric field, how to defend yourself, and how to, just make sure things are good to go for you. And last but not least, the Soul Based Business Mentorship. This is one of my most favorite types of sessions to do. It's where we sit down and we let your soul guide both of us in figuring out how to launch your business. I'm not a business advisor. This is a clairsentient reading. I'm typically not using cards. I'm full on communicating with your soul and expressing these messages. I'm just being used as a conduit to deliver messages, instructions from your soul. And I'll share this. A good friend of mine who I did a soul-based business mentorship with several years back. He was in a difficult space. Um, he was trying to create opportunities for himself. He presented me with the information and I shared with him what his soul was communicating. He took that advice. He applied it. He went to a completely different country and met with a whole bunch of large corporations. He didn't have the professional experience to do this, but he did it anyways. And he made something happen from that. And then a few weeks later, COVID happened and all the shutdowns happened. And then he reached out again and he was like, he's thinking of going back home to the United States. And I'm like, for what? That's an old cycle being repeated. You have two choices: go back and nothing's going to happen for you, or stay and make things happen. That was a communication from his soul. A couple months later, he reaches out again. He stayed. And you know what happened? He was featured in Forbes. I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him. Yeah. And he is working with some big name companies. He's a genius in what he does. All of that, all that success. He was living off credit cards, if I remember right. And now he's living. Soul based business mentorship. Your soul wants you to succeed. So succeed. Receive the instructions, apply it, and watch yourself begin to succeed in ways you never thought you would. This is one of my most favorite type of sessions to do because it gives you full control. It gives you back your awareness of how much your soul is trying to provide for you. It's just a matter of whether or not you will allow it. It's up to you, though. So if you'd like to check that out, click on the QR code or the link in the comment. I got to get going. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. And especially Find me on TikTok and across all social media. I'm Emmy Evolving across the board. Don't follow any clone accounts. I will not reach out. I will not solicit services. The only way to reach me is by emailing my team, contact@emmyevolving.com, or purchasing sessions from my official website. Okay. That's the only way to do it. I will not reach out and tell you you want something. That's a liar. I don't do that. So I love you guys. I'm going to see you again very soon. Yes. Tomorrow, we're going to have a very in depth soul sanctuary chat. Usual time. It's going to be on the announcements bar. If you're not yet part of our community there, these are people who have joined our church, Soulwork Synergistics Church. Go check it out. The Soul Sanctuary.love. I didn't put it on the screen. I got to go though. All right, guys. Look for me on TikTok. That's where I do a lot of other different things that I don't do here on YouTube. I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye.